Okay, we're going to quickly go through a way to connect Amazon Seller Central to Google Sheets so you can pass your orders there. And this is a great way to take that data you have in spreadsheet format and do anything you need to, whether you do charts in Google Sheets or connect it to Google Data Studio. A lot of options there. Really the challenge with Amazon, because in our opinion, the reporting in Amazon really sucks, is just getting the data out and then, manipulating it as you need to for your own internal processes. So really a two-step process, really quick. Step one, create a Google Sheet. You can name it as you wish. Start a sheet within there. And what you want to do here is add a few headings here. So for now, let's just do date, order ID, amount, and fulfillment, just for the sake of this. Now, when we connect to the API, and you're not going to need any programming skills to do this, but when you connect, you're going to have other options for more fields. You can add these later, but we'll just do a basic setup here first, where we just want to pass each order to a sheet so that we can, we're going to set it to Data Studio, but you can do as you wish. Once you have that sheet created, you're going to go over to Zapier.com. You can get a free account. Depending on your Amazon volume, you may never need anything more than a free account. Or, if you have high volume, you may have to pay. Usually it's like 10 bucks a month. It's really cheap. And what Zapier is a connector that is going to look at the Amazon API and basically send all that data to Google Sheets. So you don't have to, program anything custom to do this. And this is just going to be a step-by-step, no programming skills required. So once you get into Zapier, if you know how to use it, obviously you're going to probably know what to do here. If not, we'll just walk you through creating what they call a zap. And the zap is basically that connection that each time an order comes in is just going to send it right over to Google Sheets. So we are going to make a zap. And we have to choose our trigger app. So Zapier uses the word trigger to say, where's the data coming from, basically. So I'm just going to start typing in Amazon here. We're going to grab Amazon Seller Central, because that's where your data comes from. And it's going to walk us through. It's a nice wizard, really easy to use. So we're going to do new orders is when we want this to trigger. We have an account connected already. At this point, if you don't have an account connected, which you likely don't, it's going to walk you through how to do that. And that's usually just going over to Amazon, approving the API, everything like that. Again, no programming required. It's just a step-by-step thing. So just going to hit save and continue because we don't need to do that step here. Now, this next question is, when do you want this to trigger? So when the order status is either unshipped, shipped, canceled, pending, all that kind of stuff. So unshipped would be like the way you report on all your new orders that come in. But let's just say you wanted to do a different sheet where you want to aggregate all your canceled orders or orders as they ship, that kind of stuff. So there's other ways you can do this, but we want all orders basically. So all the new orders that come in, we want them to go into this sheet. So I'm going to choose unshipped. So now we know that when a new order comes in and the status is unshipped, we are going to use that order. And what it does now is kind of just pull in some sample orders so you can kind of see, what these orders are. And this is really just verifying the data. There's not much you have to do here. You're just going to hit continue. And now it's saying we're almost finished. We actually have another step. We need to do an action. So our trigger was a new order comes into Amazon. Our action then, we're going to send it to Google Sheets, right? So this is our action app, Google Sheets. That's what we want to do. And what we want to do here is create a spreadsheet row. You have other options here. You could theoretically create a worksheet for every order if you wanted to. That might be useful. Or you might want to update a spreadsheet row. So there are ways that you can interact with the data a little bit more. But let's keep it pretty simple here. We'll create a new spreadsheet row. Again, I'm already connected, so I don't need to connect to Google Sheets. If you haven't connected Zapier before to Google Sheets, it's just going to be a couple extra steps to verify. And now it's going to ask us to look up the sheet we had. And I think, so I'm just going to look for that sheet we created just a second ago. I'm sorry, clicking in the wrong box there. Here's the sheet we're looking for. So my sheet was called the worksheet then that we're going to choose, because there are two sheets on our worksheet, was actually real-time Amazon orders. So what you really want to be mindful of as you create this sheet is what is the name of the sheet, and then what is the name of the tab, basically. All right, so now it's gonna, based on the headings that we had created, remember we did the heading on that sheet for date, order ID, amount, and fulfillment. We're gonna basically now match up the fields. This is where we map the fields basically. So for date, we basically just click this little box, and this goes to Amazon and pulls in all the fields that we can possibly grab, and I'm just gonna grab the purchase date for that. The order ID, I'm just going to look for the order ID here. Sometimes it's easiest when there's a lot of fields to search. I'm just going to look for ID, Amazon order ID, there it is. And then the amount, I'm going to look for the amount. Just see if amount is order total amount. And then fulfillment, I'm actually not even going to populate that right now, but that you have the ability to pass whether it's Amazon fulfilled versus seller fulfilled, that kind of thing. So now we basically have this mapped. We're basically done here. We're going to hit continue. There's a couple more steps which I'm not going to do because it really just verifies and sends a test order and all that. But once I hit continue, we're pretty much done. And what this essentially configures then is every time an order comes in from Amazon, it just passes it straight to Google Sheets in fairly real time. I think Zapier runs every 5 minutes or so. If you have a paid account, you can get them faster. But that's it. Just a really basic process. Shouldn't cost you anything, and unless you're doing a lot of volume in Amazon, in which case it's probably worth $10 a month to have this connection work. Hope this helps you improve your processes.